what we're seeing at the moment is we've had a massive explosion of craft beer all across Europe and the world, especially Europe in the last 10 years. And what we're seeing now is a kind of this tipping point of maturation in the market. We're seeing a lot of beer in supermarkets, a lot of beer in places where you've never seen beer before, high-class restaurants, supermarket shelves. We're seeing it, your regular kind of neighborhood bars will all have really good craft beer in a way, whereas 5-6 years ago, it was just your standard kind of macro lagers. Obviously, when we opened, we opened with some of our owners are English. I'm obviously not Croatian, I'm Irish, and our original head brewer was from New Zealand. We've always kind of had an international flavor, so we always did look beyond Croatia. And we were like, if we want to kind of do what we want to do, we need to sell everywhere across Europe and across the world. We sell to China, Australia, Mexico. We'll sell anywhere that we can do it, and a lot of that is from using our contacts, building relationships, traveling a lot. You meet people, you develop these kind of relationships, and then you can sell beer. We knew we were making something that could work in a wider market. Before, whenever people's palates were just trained towards lagers and everything else, and they tried their first craft beer, whether it was from Garden or Zamaiska or Novorunda, it was an amazing kind of fresh thing. Whereas now, palates have developed, it becomes normal. People are looking for, a pale ale is a normal thing in the market, and an IPA is a normal thing in the market. Whereas, 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever we first started the garden, that just wasn't the case. It was, you had, Svijetlo, Tamno, and Pšenica, and that's it. And now we've got a wide array of stuff, whether it's using, chocolate, using fruit, using sour beers, using everything else, and that's kind of become normal. So we have a sour beer that we sell in Middle, which if you talked to us 8 years ago, that wouldn't have been impossible. People were just like, what are you making here? What is this? And now we have it in one of the most mainstream locations available all over the country. What I can say now is our export kind of percentage of what we sell is much less than it was in previous years. And we're growing domestically really strongly. And it's begun from, if we talk 2019, 2020, we do maybe 60%, 70% export. And now it's switched. And now domestically is where our kind of future is, I think. I think we still have the export markets, whether it be, we're selling more to Slovenia than we ever did. We're still selling to China, but maybe not as much. And Australia is a little bit too far away to really get the freshness that we'd like. But what we can do here is really growing. So whenever I first moved here, if I got into a taxi or talked to anyone, they'd be like joking because I was the only Irish person that came here and everyone else went to Croatia. But there's a lot of similarities in the cultures, and we're really similar. And I can say, so I got married last year to my wife, and she's from Slovenia. And we had a wedding in Tisno at our garden site, and there was 50 Irish people and 50 Croatian people. And we get along. It works, culturally it works. They might not have understood what was going on, but they all understood kind of drinking, eating, celebrating, and it's not a myth. I can say as someone who's now part of a family which is half Croatian, half Irish, it's not a myth, it works.